Hello, I hope you're having a fantastic week. In this video, we're going to talk about, I get this question often, Heather, should I track macros versus calories? And, what does that mean? Or how could that be helpful? So all macros are is a breakdown of your calories into specific groupings, right? So calories are a huge bucket. In there, you would partition them off and you would say, so many calories going to protein, so many calories are going to fat, so many calories are going to carbohydrates. And those equal out to be different gram allotments because carbs and fats are 4 calories each. Fat is 9 calories, right? So they each get a different amount based on the percentage that you have decided or an exact gram amount that you've decided. But basically, it's a partitioning off. Now, if you're just starting your journey or you're starting your cut or deficit and you want to be as loosey-goosey at first to begin with, it makes perfect sense just to focus on calories. Because if calories aren't even remotely in the ballpark or you're not tracking consistently, going to a more refined level of tracking makes no sense, right? You've got to think of it as a cone. You've got to start with the highest level, which is just calorie awareness and calorie hitting. Once you get good at that, and let's just say you've lost a bunch of weight and you're still hitting your calories, but maybe you're not seeing progress on the scale, or you're working on some other goals like you're wanting to build muscle and strength and yada, yada, yada. What I would say is then maybe that's a good time to focus on your macronutrients. Now, where does that come into play? I'm not far from where I want to be. So for me, the little things add up really quickly, okay? So if I'm looking at 2 weeks of my food logs and I'm hitting my calories are being hit, but then I look at my macronutrients and I see I hit my fat, I hit my protein, but I'm 25 grams over on my carbohydrates. What that translates into, and why this is important, is 25 grams of carbohydrate, 25 times 4 is 100 calories. So even though maybe I'm hitting 1,800 calories in MyFitnessPal, and I'm now 25 in the red on carbohydrate, that actually means I've eaten 1,900 calories, not 1,800. And where we get into trouble with this is, let's just say all of our macronutrients are that way, right? You're over 25 on carbohydrate, you're over a couple on fat, and you're over a couple on protein. Well, if you multiplied each one of those grams by their respective calorie number, you could be anywhere from 1 to 200 calories easily over whatever it's reporting. Now, again, this is like those detail things that more can impact somebody who's been on this journey a long time or doesn't have that much weight to lose, or who is in a plateau. And so for me, I went back through my food logs and here I averaged 1,800, but I had several days like that. I had one wrap that was higher in carbs than what the calories were that they're reporting. And that's usually where those discrepancies happen. If you're weighing your fruits and vegetables and all that good stuff, then those foods are pretty easy to track. The foods where the biggest discrepancy with the macronutrients versus calorie allotment happen are going to be with your prepackaged foods, usually the ones that are advertising lower calorie amounts to make someone want to purchase them. So for example, if I'm talking about my wraps and they're 50 calories, but if they're 17 grams of carbohydrates, there's no way they can be 50 calories because 17 times 4 is 28, that's 68 calories, just in carbohydrate. That isn't including if there's any fat or there's any protein in that product. So when is a good time to think about looking at macronutrients? One, you're consistently tracking. You get everything written down, every bite, lick, and taste. You've got all that going for you. Two, you've been hitting your calorie allotment. And three, you are potentially somebody who doesn't have as much weight to lose, or you're stuck in a plateau, or you've got specific goals you're shooting for that require macronutrients to come into play. That's kind of the person I see as needing to worry about that. But if you're just curious, if you're like, man, I haven't been seeing the progress I think I should see, and I'm seeing my calories are correct and these have been working for me, go back through the macronutrients and just see, are you in the green on all your macronutrients, or are you in the red, meaning are you exceeding them? And then about how much is that averaging out to be? That could be something to look at, and that's probably coming from your processed pre-packaged products that have been sold to you as a good one for weight loss, usually, not always, but usually. So I hope this video helps. You guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.